morning. And welcome to another edition of Beyond the Well. I'm Patrice.
And I'm Malcolm. Beyond the Well is a live interactive broadcast intended for our social media audience and, of course, everyone who's in the congregation today. And if you haven't had a chance to yet, please like us on Facebook and feel free to go to YouTube and share some of the previous broadcasts with your friends and family and use it as a way to witness.
Amen. So speaking of witnessing today, so our topic title is Clubbing Christians. Clubbing Christians. Can you spread God's love in the club?
All right.
Can you spread God's love in the club? That's the question, Malcolm.
So we might step on some toes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know.
So, first of all, hello. My name is Malcolm.
Hey, Malcolm.
And I used to be a clubbing Christian. So seriously, I used to go out on Saturday nights, get my drink on, and get up the next morning.
Wait a minute, you was about that life?
I was unfortunately about that life.
It's okay.
Yeah, and I'd wake up and still go to church.
Oh.
I get there late,
Oh, okay.
but I go to church.
At least you still went. Okay.
Yeah. I went because, at least in part, I knew my mom was going to ask me if I went.
Okay.
And I knew I didn't want to tell her I didn't go because then we'd have a really long conversation. So it was better to go. Now, it's not something that I'm proud of, but one day I did go to the club and I met this beautiful woman. And she later on became my wife.
Oh, that's good.
Now, she went to the club less than I did, so that should be noted.
Kudos to her.
And at the same time, while it worked out in the end for us, because Romans 8:28 says, of course, that we know that all things work together for the good for those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. I still don't want anyone to be slick. Don't be slick, because I'm not telling you to go to the club looking for your wife or looking for your husband. I did not say that. I just said that it worked out in the end for us.
See, for you it worked out.
Right,
That's good.
But I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Well, see, Malcolm, I'm the opposite. So I got saved when I was 13, and so when I got saved, I called myself taking it real serious. I was really like trying to live and do everything that the Bible said. So, I tried to live it. So I didn't go to the club like that, but I had a situation one time where I had a friend of mine who invited me out one Saturday night, and she didn't tell me about the place or whatever. I'm just like, okay, I'll just meet you. So we, when I got there, I realized it was a club, and she was a nice Christian friend, but I mean, she was kind of more, she was a little bit a different, she lived a different lifestyle than I did.
A worldly Christian.
Yeah, another worldly Christian. Yeah. So, but anyway, I went to support my friend. I was there, and after a few minutes, I was immediately just sitting there. And even though it was innocent, after a few minutes sitting there, I was totally convicted, because at the time I was mentoring like two teenage girls, like one was 17 and one was 18, and I was like, trying to minister to them and teach them not to be in the world. The Bible tells us to come out from among them and be separate. So I was trying, so it immediately dawned on me, like, if those two girls walked in this club and saw me sitting here, regardless of how innocent it may have been, it still could have caused a reproach, and it could cause them to, say, well, look at you. You say you're living, you're teaching us to live for God, but look at you, you're not living it. So I was convicted, and I actually ended up leaving the club. So once you get like to a certain maturity, or you get to a certain level of responsibility in your Christian walk, you can't go back to that. Amen. So you have to kind of walk away and leave that stuff behind you. Once you grow, you can't go back to it. It's like trying to go back and put an old shoe on. You can't do that anymore. So
that's right. As we were researching this topic and preparing for it, I found an article online, and it was from a Christian website, and basically it dealt with whether it's okay to go to clubs and bars to witness to people. And there were people on both sides of the issue. Some believed that it was okay to go to the club to witness to people. They talked about how Jesus was around sinners and that we could go to a dark place and be a light in a dark place. One person even mentioned that she often takes a group of ladies to the strip club to give gift bags.
I've heard of her. Yeah, I've heard of her.
It was amazing. And even mentioned that she sometimes prays with them right there in the club. So, I'm not making this up. Patrice has heard of this. Now, there are others who are on the other side of this. They don't think it's okay to go to clubs and bars to witness to people. And some of those who are supporting this view mentioned that you can really witness to the same crowd elsewhere. I mean, if they go to clubs and bars, they go to other places too. Also mentioned kind of what you talked about, with what happens if other Christians see you there. If you cause them to stumble, if you cause someone to stumble, for you, that's sin.
Yeah.
Others mentioned that going to the club might cause you to be tempted to sin. I mean, if that's something you've been delivered from, you're going back into the fire, that's not the best place for you.
Right.
And then lastly, someone mentioned that it probably isn't going to be effective if you're witnessing to somebody who's drunk. It just makes sense.
It probably won't work. Yeah, probably won't work. Okay, so just some other scriptures that I came across, Malcolm, that I thought was really interesting too. 1 Thessalonians 5:22 talks about abstain from all appearance of evil. Also in 2 Corinthians 6:17 talks about, wherefore, like I mentioned earlier, come out from among them and be ye separate. Touch not the unclean thing. And then also you look at Philippians 2:15. It talks about you need to be blameless and innocent children of God above reproach in the midst of a crooked, perverse generation. So the Lord is, the Bible teaches us about coming out, not being amongst that crowd. We're trying to get them to come up and live for Christ. We're not trying to go down. You know what I mean? So you don't want to stoop. I know Paul says we want to win them at any cost in a way, but I want us to be mindful about not lowering the standard, going out and getting mixed up with stuff that's going to cause us to fall. So that could cause us to fall. So anyway, we want to hear your thoughts on this topic. Go out to our Facebook page and share your feedback. And I think we're about out of time today.
Well, a couple of things just to mention real quickly. Part of it with what you mentioned about Paul. So in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 19 through 23, he does talk about being all things to all people so they might gain Christ or essentially get saved. Now, this doesn't mean that you should stand next to a drug dealer on the corner and tell him about Jesus while he's selling drugs. It does mean that when he's off duty, so to speak, you could talk to him maybe in the mall and look to see if you have something in common, and then tell him about Jesus in a safe environment.
Exactly.
And then also when people talk about Jesus being around sinners, so in Luke chapter 7 verses 36 through 50, he was witnessing, there was the prostitute. Many Bible scholars believe she was a prostitute, anointed his feet with oil. But in that situation where he forgave her, restored her, he didn't go to her place of business to do it.
That's true. Wow, so this is something that we definitely want to get your feedback on, and we want to hear what your thoughts are. So again, go out to our Facebook page and go out to our YouTube page and just take a look and tell us your thoughts. So we're out of time, but remember, the Lord wants you to share your faith. He wants you to go beyond your church, beyond your community.
And beyond the well.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.